with Owerri chapter. It's going to be a good deliberation, I'm sure. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, without wasting our time, I want to say let's have a fruitful deliberation, a fruitful meeting, and all that. And then at the end of the day, we'll be happy that we were able to attend. Thank you, Awka chapter, for putting this together. Thank you, the ESCO. Thank you, members, because again, if there are no members, I mean, it wouldn't be the way it is. So, thank you very much, and I'll yield back to Awka chapter to continue. Tunde, can you tell them to go ahead? I've finished.
Okay, thank you, PE. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
It's like there's a problem with
yes, there's technical issues, internet connection issues.
Is it there in Enugu? Is it the problem there in Enugu or here?
No, it's there. It's there. It's at their hand. It's from their hand. This is almost 12. We are already almost an hour behind. So please, let's go ahead. Awka with the chapter. Let's go ahead, please.
That's if they can hear you. If they can hear you, they should go ahead.
Hear me, sir. Okay. I didn't have you. Tunde. Hello.
Let's go ahead and start. Time is far gone.
Share screen. You go share screen. Share screen. Okay, that's slide. The last one. That's in this like this. So you read this. Hello, PE. Please, I need to pull it. PE, please, can you read this citation of the chairman, please?
What are you saying?
Okay, you said the citation of the chairman.
Yes.
Can you project it? Project it, please.
Yes.
It's not really clear.
It's not clear. It's blurred.
It's blurry. It's the network.
It's blurred. I can't see anything.
It's blurry.
Why not read it from that end? Read it from your end there. There's no need because the network is bad.
Just read it from your head. It's bad.
Tell them to go ahead and read it from their end there.
Read it here. Okay.
It's very blurred. I can't see anything.
Prof. Thank you. This is a citation of Professor Ayoma. He's a renowned Nigerian petroleum geologist and full professor. No. Okay. At the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, with over 40 years of experience. He specializes in and stratigraphy, while also holding patients in there on his academic background. He graduated in 1985 BSc Honors Geology. Nigeria, Owerri University, Bauchi, 1986 to 1991. He's outstanding Earth Science Lecturer Award, Buoyancy-Assisted 21, total NMGS paper awards between 2007 and 2013. Beyond academic, national and community service, he serves He is a special marshal with the Federal Receptive Commission and is a deacon at the Holy Ghost Baptist Church in Nsukka, Enugu State. He is married to Mrs. Kelechi Jimode, and they are blessed with 4 children.
Thank you so much. And that's, I want to hand over to the chairman.
Next slide. Next slide.
I want to hand over to the chairman. My chairman, please you come over here so that.
Show his face. Show his face. Show his face.
Our president, secretary, and all the officials and fellows, the audience all over the world and Petroleum this program. My pleasure to review the citation of our guest today, Dr. Livinus Nsukka. It's an EMP especially with over 20 years of development. This is about geophysics and the key in tectonics and geology from the University of. He began his career with Total Energies at the Geology Scientific and Technical Center in France, and has worked on exploration and development projects across the UK, Norway, North Sea, East Africa, and Nigeria. He currently serves as managing consultant of Integrated Elvee Services Limited. Dr. Nosike is the founder of Elvee Energy Trading, through which he has advanced professional capacity building in the industry. His work has supported the evaluation of marginal fields, new exploration opportunities in Nigeria, while it comes in to train industry professionals and provides technical support for new drug and asset evaluation. Dr. Nsukka is also the author of Exploration and Production Science, Comprehensive Skills Application for an Evolving Industry, an integrated guide to E&P work for discovering exploration and appraisal well operations, drilling risk mitigation, drilling production, and related disciplines, in addition to several publications in local and international journals. So it's my pleasure to acknowledge the great. I feel excited to see today be the guest speaker. Welcome, guest speaker.
Good day, everyone. I want to thank the organizers of this occasion, starting from the law, the writer of the Awka Charter, and all your guests for the group of
the one you just said to this layer, the one that was on the flash, the second one was imagine.
Have several yes, this presentation. And also, when I am in an event and I have Professor Model with me, I feel so happy. And I always reiterate, I don't think I'm going to stop that. I always remember as a student how he inspired me. I remember him taking me to events. NHS was the first one. And today, Prof, when you see me bring together we chat, we see each other. Sometimes of us we start going to church. So it's a wonderful moment. And today I hope we are going to discuss a very important topic. First of all, I'm going to do something that is different from what I always done. Most of you know that I remain within the geoscience area when I'm presenting in NAPE. Tens and tens of presentation is always geoscience. Once in a while, I delve into a bit of AI, digital technology, but coming back to geoscience. And for the first time, I'm going to present something that is, will I say engineering, or something that is not in the mainstream of our field evaluation. And why will I be doing this? There are several reasons, but the most important one is to come to the reality of what is happening in our country today. And in fact, worldwide. Recently, as most of you are aware, there was a bidding and some marginal fields came upstream. I mean, some marginal fields were finally concessioned by our government. How many of us are aware of that? Are we all aware? Very good. And I happen to be one of the persons that trained some of these companies, some of these local firms. And some very striking things happened. There was a training we had recently, some of you might have seen it. It was two, one for geoscientists, and those ones was where we treated log interpretation, petrophysics and all that. And we had another one, which was well intervention for engineers. And what we saw was very striking. One, the geoscientists were about 40%, and the engineers for these marginal fields were about 60%. That's not too striking, it's normal, especially for a marginal field. But what struck me was that they were not so keen on reservoir engineering. They were not talking about flow simulation. They were quite interested in well integrity. They were interested in field maintenance. What does that mean? What that means is that the oil fields in Nigeria are getting very, very mature. That means they are becoming old. And the kind of problem we'll have in the next few years will be different from what we have had for the last 30 to 40 years. These fields are getting old. So you have people who want to manage the well, casing. They go back to look at the geology and say, what kind of, you have acid. This acid going to, dissolve the cementing in these wells. Several problems that way. In Nigeria, we may not be conscious because we don't have those acid formations. So, but other things are coming up, snake line operation, BHP surveys and all that. So it will be unfortunate that we geoscientists, if we don't have a peek into what is happening in the other side of the journey, and that is about well integrity. And if you have a field or you manage block evaluation, you notice that while we are so, in the petroleum value chain, we talk of exploration and appraisal, and most times we geoscientists will focus on that. The time comes when we have done a lot of exploration, a lot of wells are producing. And it's time now to think of not just development, but the production and the challenges that come with it. And that is where the topic of today becomes very important. So permit me to deviate a little. I promise we are going to make it very easy, and we're going to discuss an innovation in the industry. Emerging technologies in buoyancy-assisted drifting. So we're looking at what is drifting, what are the issues you can have with drifting, okay, what are the objectives, what are we trying to achieve in the industry. We look at the well conditions, we look at the floating drift, a case study, and then we look at how this can help solve some major non-productive time issues, some of the challenges we have in our wells. And we look at this particular tool, we look at how it functions, we look at the logging contents, and look at how this technology is improving. That's what we're going to do today. So as we go to the next slide, I will introduce the concept of drifting to us. What's in drifting? Okay. Drifting just means if I have any pointer, I will use it, but if not, I think you can look at the screen and you see that I will focus on what's more important. Now, drift just means knowing the diameter of your well bore. Being sure that the diameter, like some people say caliper, when we're drilling, we use caliper. It's just that diameter. But when it comes to production or post drilling, it's not just a nominal diameter. It's not enough to say, okay, my diameter is 7 inches, it's okay. we are thinking of validity. Validity is how smooth, how circular, how well clean my well is. And this validity is very important because when your hole, from the time you're drilling, is not very oval, or you cement place your casing and it's not oval, and you have drifting issues, we are going to run into multiple issues. And those are the issues we are going to look at. It's important to know knowledge is changing. Many years ago, it's okay to just be an exploration geologist. You can go and see. Okay, NAPE 75 years ago, 50 years ago, but now knowledge is increasing. What you're doing, someone can go to YouTube, read and get a basic idea, isn't it? Wells are getting more complex. So you can't just relax and say, I'm a geologist, I can't see what's happening. You know, let me just give a small anecdote. When I got to do my master's, I was surprised when I came and I thought I knew what I registered. I thought I was going to do a master's in geology. I was surprised that on arrival, it was engineering. It was normal. Everybody felt it's normal. I had to do a master in engineering. I kept feeling, okay, what would I do with this master's? Then I did another one in geology for my PhD in geology. And it was there. And the first See, I'm using the language of geoscientists in this discussion. Okay, because I will have just said it will be water breakthrough. Okay, and then you calculate the percentage of your water cost, WC. And when it's high, you have to do a WSO, what we call water shut off. You have to put another packer to block the water. So all those systems you are going to run, you are going to have multiple issues. Okay, tubing convert perforation, the one I just showed us, where tubing is convert perforation, packer retriever, liner hanger, and a lot of issues you're going to have because of drifting. So drifting is very important. And if there's an innovation in this area, we need to know. Next slide, please. So these are some operations that we do that can, or drifting can affect. These things you're seeing are things we do when we have marginal phase, for example, to optimize them. Shifting sleeves make you to produce the zone you want. These are new technologies. Okay, shifting sleeve, what we call intelligent well completion, IWC. Okay. Then you set plugs. You can go and plug your well. You can retrieve the plug. You can go and set your gas filter when you want to do gas injection. Run 10 pipes. These are places where anchors inside your well, where when you run slick line, it's anchors, and so on and so forth. To get your flow, what I told you when your well is not flowing, flow into the well, fishing operations, sand cutting, de-waxing. Okay, when you have wax and all that, and gauge run and broaching. Comes, does his job and goes. The next person come and problem multiply one upon the other. Lanyards, these things we use for drifting, debris in pipe, the balls I told you that when you drop. Port, I'm going to show you a fracture tool. When you are drilling and it's time to do fracking, fracking is fracturing the formation, okay, so that liquids will flow. The port, the holes from where those detonation will come out. Dopes, grease can close it. I'm going to show us. And once it blocks it, the sensor is not going to activate. So liner hanger. Liner is a small casing. Casing is those metal you use to, to secure a pipe, a well. And the liner is the ones that don't hang from the surface, that just hang at the bottom. When you are setting this hanger, the excessive pipe dope, the tubular diameter and all that. This next slide, please. That's what this technology is going to help us solve. So what is buoyancy-assisted drifting? How does it work? It works by floating in the well. In fact, for my 20 years or more drilling experience, this is the first tool that really floats in a well. For anything to float, it has to be less than what? what density must it be less than to float? Density of water, it must have a density of 0.99 something. So this is the first tool, because most oil tools are heavy. So this can run in any pipe size of pipe. You know, you later see why. You know, well, it has different pipe holes, different sizes, any gauge size. Okay, next, click next. And so the mud weight is 8.5 ppg. 8.3 is a density of approximately 1 gram per cm. That's the density of water. In part per gallon is about 8.3. So anything and any drilling fluid, no matter, you know, you add some additives, 8.5 is one of the lightest. And when you drop these two, it's going to float. And the mere fact that these two will float in water makes you to drift while the tool is floating. You no longer need to run downhole, and you will no longer need to be doing that. You later, I'll mention how drifting is done and all the challenges on the surface, making it very important for displacement to run, isolation packer run, and all those challenges that was highlighted before. Next slide, please. So, in a particular example of this floating buoyancy-assisted drifting is what we call floating drift. Floating drift is a trademark of D2 oil tools, okay? And how it works is that when you bring what we call joints, joint is like one pipe. You know, when you drill a well, you are going to send down those pipes, isn't it? And then you are, even when you are running the tubing is the pipe that goes inside the well to bring in the oil. You tie them and you'll be lowering them. You'll be making it. It's called making up. You join, you send down, you join, you send down. So what this tool does is that when you drop it, when you send the first one and there's mud inside the tube, you now drop this tool and it floats. When you put another one, make up the next one. As you are moving down, it's floating in between and it's drifting the pipe. Is this clear to everybody? That is the basic principle. I can go on and on to give you the weights, the ID, the temperature, the tensile strength, and so on. Next slide, okay, of this particular case study, because we want to study an example. So now, why is it important? Because before now, there are just 3 ways to drift a well. The first one is you drop a hollow steel drift on a wireline tail. Okay, so you have a pipe, so you are going to get a drift. That drift can be any metal that has the size of your tubing. So you tie, okay, a stick line or a wire line on top and start lowering it to a well. So if you drill a well of 10,000 feet, you have to run it down to 10,000 to go and check that your hole is okay. And when you do that, it can take you 2 days or 3 days, $3 million. Are you getting it? It's so much. Because we are talking of business case, we should be focusing on the figures. And that was one way to do it. The problem with this is that when you go down, you pull the thing out of hole. And if you find out that one pipe has an issue at 2,000 meters, what are we going to do? Terrible case. You start pulling out the tubing. Pulling out of hole can take another 1 day. Because after pulling, you lay it down, you correct that one, you start running in hole again. This is a 75 years old technology that we are trying to stop. I hope you are getting it. So that's the problem with this method. You don't wait to finish running in hole before you start drifting. The second one is to run it from the derrick. Okay, that one you say, okay, I'm going to hang a drift from the derrick. When I put a pipe, I'll leave the metal derrick, run it in hole. When it drifts well, I'll pull it out and drop it. The danger with this one is that, you know, you can finish drifting the pipe on the floor, and when you run it in hole, it will damage. Are you getting it? When you start coupling the pipe, it will have over torque, it will damage and all that. So at the end of it, what you did on the surface did not work. And the last one is to do it from the V-door, somewhere where you lie them down and you drift them, okay? And in fact, this second one is the most dangerous. That's why when you bring floating drift, all the rig floor personnel, they are very happy. Because by the time you are lifting those meters, those metals up, running them and all that, you can damage equipment, you can have fallen objects, very dangerous operation. So this is the former way of doing it. Next slide. This used to be the solution. And that is what the floating drift is going to stop. Okay. So as I said, the floating drift will be put at the bottom of the assembly below the connection that is being made up. Once you put that first one, there's a light on top. In fact, go to the next slide. Let me use the pictorial images to explain it. This is how the drift looks. So first thing is that you see this gauge ring you see at the bottom. This is just an illustration. That's the size of the tubing. And then you have a pipe in the middle. What you see those junk baskets, those things like this, they collect debris. And then you have a centralizer that will be the size of the pipe. You have some magnets to absorb it. At the top, you have a light glass. This light, when you see the light from on top of the rig floor, you see it inside hole, that means your hole is clear. Because it will float in the mud. Wherever your mud is, drilling fluid is, this will always be on top. If you don't see this light, it means that it's stuck. And the fact that it's stuck means mud has come above it. But it's stuck on the last pipe, not many pipes below. So once you pull out that first one, is in the next one. Are we getting it? That is the technology. And so the safety and efficiency becomes an issue of safety. Go to the next slide. Becomes an issue of safety. When you don't drift on the surface, it becomes an issue of efficiency. This is the part, and I think this one will not interest us. So go to the next, but it's just to show you the details of the equipments that we are used to make sure we get something that is less than one. That each of the equipments there has a density of approximately less than 1 gram per cm cube, so that it can float. So this is why the floating drift becomes a very important technology. I'm going to show you where it's being run now. Okay, and a lot of things. I did almost, I had several interactions with NUPRC before this was approved in Nigeria. We had meetings, they asked for a lot of things. We had to go between the OAM in US to Nigeria, and we just got the approval, okay? And people on standby for running it in country. So this becomes your, especially for completion, for those who do completion. Completion is when you start running your tubing, okay? Because once that tubing has issue, you are going to have, as I say, you pull out a hole, you are going to have multiple problems. Running even your pump. The pump, let's say, is a well that is going to use submersible pump, is going to be an issue. Remember, even when drilling, you need this too. Anytime you need a properly, next slide, you need a properly drifted hole. So I'm going to give us videos. These are the videos I'll share with us. If you have if you want us to share it by WhatsApp, you want capture, but these are the videos. And there's a scan you can do. You can go online, see how the floating drift was. Next slide. And if possible, I'm going to play one. There's a video I kept actually in the flash. So take note, when we get to that point, we can run it. So graphically, this is how the floating drift works. This is the tool itself. Okay, this is the gauge. This is what must be the size of your well, or the size of your tubing or casing. And then you have your centralizer. This is the light. So when you drop it, if you have your mud line, the fluid in your well is here, for example, it is made in such a way, it's about 8 feet long. Okay. If you go to our maybe LinkedIn page or so, you see the two. But it's made in such a way that it will always float. So when you drop it in water or mud, it will always float. Something must be above, so you see this light. So you can actually drop it manually inside your well if the mud is high. If you have a well that the mud is very low, you use what is known as searing, something that will hook it and lower it. That's the case we have here, for example, so that it goes below. You lower it down the well, and then it's going to float. While it is floating, if you put another pipe, so let's say you have this, and you now put another pipe, as you are pushing down, the mud is coming up, it will enter the next pipe and also drift that pipe. I hope that is clear. So it continues. Once it does not pass and you can't see the light, that means there's a problem, isn't it? So the maximum problem you can have with the floating drift is one stand, just one, instead of having like 50 at 3,000 meters. Next slide. So this is just for engineers. This may interest them that when you run an impression block, it's something that goes to check if your well is clean. Okay. When you do it normally, you can see ovality issue. This is not round. This well is not round. There's an ovality issue. It's deformed somewhere. See the one that the floating drift confirm is clean. It's very oval. Okay, go to the next slide. This is port that I was telling us, a port for fracking. You see these holes you see, that's where the detonator is going to come to fracture your formation. If you don't drift your well, the dope is all the grease and everything you use when coupling the pipe. As you are running in your tool, it will be cleaning it. As it's cleaning it, they are blocking your pipe. So by the time you get to 2,000 or 3,000 meter depth, and you try to shoot, because these are sensors, it will not detonate. You have to start pulling out the hole. Okay, because of it, there's something known as pickling, which is to use acid and other chemicals to clean this pipe. And that alone costs quite a lot in the industry. Go ahead, next slide. So this is the gauge I was mentioning. This is important because the good thing about the floating drift is that the stem is only 1 2. So when we deploy it in a field, you send one stem and several gauges. So depending on the size of your well, you know, well have different sizes, cement casing size, the tubing size, where you're producing. So whichever one you decide, you put the gauge below. Go to the next slide, and that gauge will be exactly the size of the pipe, just a bit. There's a dimension. You reduce it by 1 step. How do we send this tool in? There's what we call the C line that you can use to drop it, or you drop it manually into the well. But this is what we call bell nipple. It looks like a bell. To retrieve the tool, which I will show us a video, you run this downhole, and once it clips the top where you have that light, once it clips, it is going to latch. As you pull the cable, the tool will come out with you, because these are some important things. Next slide that people want to know before they run this tool. So what do? So either we continue with the old technology that has been there, or we move on to floating drifts. The old technology, to drift a well, you have to bring a truck, you have to rig up sometime, a lot of activities, even for wells that were old producing, and you want to do any broaching and all that, you have to do with emission and a lot of challenges. Non-productive time, lost time injury, LTIs, a lot of it. Or we go with the floating drift. Next slide. So, how far has floating drift? This thing is almost like a year ago. The ones above. I just added a comment. This has run almost more than 500,000 runs in the Gulf of Mexico. And the tool has been working since 2023. As several jobs has been done, 40 to 45 jobs per month, nearing 1,000 successful runs in the UAE. Okay. In fact, last week they contacted me saying they needed some Africans to go to Saudi Arabia. I said, no way. It's not now. Or you want to go? Okay. Meanwhile, one of my friends just came back from Saudi Arabia. So I is okay. In Africa, it was deployed in Gabon, and just last month, some runs were completed in Libya, several runs in Libya. And you know, Nigeria, our processes are very long. So, but I'm happy that the NUPRC had to understand. When I did the first presentation with them, they came up with, you know, the normal stuff. But at the end, they had to study it carefully, and we just got the approval to deploy it in Nigeria. We have had a lot of meetings with Renaissance, with SICO, and a lot of other companies who are waiting. Some are on standby already to run the tools. And we're happy that this tool is a game changer, we hope. And we hope in Nigeria, because there's a 1 month period when it will be deployed to start running it in the coming months. And this is just bringing it to us. This tool is now known. You remember we sponsored this in NMGS, this tool. That was the tool that was a sponsor there to present it partially. In SPE too, we mentioned the tool. And so we are hoping that in this business meeting, we are thinking of the technology, not a particular tool, a technology that we can all improve. In fact, here in Enugu, in our digital technology department, we are contributing, because there's something we are looking forward to. And what we are looking forward to is where this tool can also be made to go down at some point, go to a certain depth. You need to use AI, for example, to know how to adjust either the weight or something to make it float according to the depth you want. That is AI, and that's something we are contributing to. And so that is beginning to round up on how this technology, not just the tool, but the general idea of floatability. You go to the next slide. How the general idea of floatability of a drift or any other tool can help. As I said, this is a video that I would like to play. You can also copy this, okay? It's not more, just Vimeo. If you know vimeo.com, you can copy 1132476677. So that if you want to watch it at your own convenience, you see how it operates, and we'll click on it. But maybe before we watch the video, go to the next slide. Let's round up. So these are people who are currently using this tool worldwide. Shell is using it, BP, Transocean, because this tool is not just, there's an aspect of rig operators.
They're also happy because it has something to do with safety. Okay, it's a new method completely of drifting, where the tool handling also matters. And that's what we are showing here. The tool handling is also an important factor. We have Halliburton, we have Valco, Beacon, and the rest. Next slide. So the business case, I won't want to go too far in this, except you are interested. But in the business case, what do we also look at? We look at the mechanism. We look at the cost of slickline itself. And then we look at the cost, spread cost. So when you come to a rig, it's not just about what you are spending or losing in the operation you're having. It's also about the rig crew. If you have a rig crew of 100 people, there's already an ongoing cost. So when you look at the cost, you check it with the spread rate. We have a slick line at a typical depth of 10,000. Okay, that will take about 3 hours, and some cases 6 hours where you have reruns to run it. And this is the time you save, because with this method, instead of running down and coming up, that will take several hours, you do it in real time. So there's no extra time. As you are running in hole, which you will always run, you're also drifting. Okay, then we mentioned frac preparation. That's when you fracture, and we explain how you can save an impact of about $30,000 to $100,000 by just avoiding pickling. Okay, pickling is that dissolving those acid I gave us. And so onshore, you could be saving about $200,000 to $400,000, okay, in a single run. Go to the next slide, or go to the next. So we have a calculator where we calculate this. You put your pickling cost, the type of rig, at the end of it, you get a value. Go to the next slide. You get a value and know what you are going to save. This is an example we feel, showing that in a single run, we could be saving up to 200, and it depends anyway. It depends on whether it's offshore, onshore. We could be saving the cost here. Next slide. So just this one is just by the way. This is a tool that we coordinate with our sister company, Ecoman, in Port Harcourt. And this is the only 2 contacts you can use to reach us if you have questions or you need any other communication. Next slide. While you prepare to run the video, please, we are rounding up. The video is about 5-7 minutes. So I've talked about the new technology. The new technology or improvement or future research we are looking forward to is a situation where you don't need to stand, because standing in the rest zone to look at the light and all that is something we can improve. We are looking forward to working on something that can send signal to the cabin, so you don't need to come and see this light. That's the first thing. The AI one is to make sure we can adapt this tool for other purposes. So it's just to tell you about future perspective for the tool. Next. So while we are looking for the conclusion, please, are you ready to run that video? Can you see the video? It's not, yes, he will be putting it there while I conclude. You can just click on it, it's right there. So, as I said, we have gone through the NUPRC processes and the regulatory authorities, and okay. Thank you. So, and we're happy to have gotten the approval, and this just happening very recently. And I'm happy that we are moving this. You know, as I said, we should be pushing things from Enugu. We should be pushing things from NAPE. We should be pushing things from Awka Owerri chapters. We should be contributing in general, okay? And we are hoping that some of these things will expand to in Enugu. You know, we are doing some research. We are focusing on some things in the Anambra Basin. Let's push, okay? And let's collaborate with others. I'm being a bit general now. And let's hope that we're able to influence some of this approval and some of this perspective and prospect. So in conclusion, this buoyancy-assisted drifting can help you optimize your well. The 2 tools that I mentioned, which is the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer, they have another tool known as Big Mini that goes downhole to clean, to drift your well, to wash, to clean out and all that. Sometime if you finish running your drifting, you can send that as a second tool to go and do that job. So some of these tools, as I've shown us, with just one technology, they can solve a whole lot of problems in the industry. So we are proposing that we can use them. Since it's well-tested, safe, and highly efficient solution, we can use them to optimize our wells. Thank you so much for your attention as we watch the video. Thank you. I'll just be making a comment where necessary. That is the tool. You see the drift below. You run it in hole. That's the stabilizer. You let it go. Can you see, is it well drifted or not? Who can tell me? It's well drifted. That's very good. It's well drifted. That's why we could see that line. So when you make up the next tube, it's well drifted. Now you are running another joint. Okay. Normally you tight it. If you have a deviated well, if you don't do it very well, it's a bit slanted, the tool will be stuck. And at that point, it's stuck. In fact, NUPRC asked us that, what happens when the tool gets stuck? That is a problem. We told them that's the good news. If the tool gets stuck, then it has detected an ovality issue. So you pull it out of hole. Is that clear? Near surface. So the problem is the solution. That's the retriever tool. That's the bell nipple. Once it latches on top, it clips, it latches, and you pull it out of hole. So there's what they call, you know, when you have a new tool, there are some risks you run. What of failure? And as I repeat, the failure of this tool is success. Okay? So this is the tool. You see all these dopes you are seeing, these little dopes, they can affect your sensor equipments when you run them downhole. That's the gauge. And somebody said, how long do we run the gauge before we change them? Okay, that's a topic for another day, but it's something you can run severally because most tools get deteriorated at a depth of 3,000 with all the heat. So when you have a tool that operates near surface, it can run for years without having issue. So this is a joint being made up. You make up the next joint. You see, you keep seeing the light. Meanwhile, you are running something at a depth of almost 3,000 meters. See those dopes? Can you see them? You see them on top of the gauge ring. Those things can be nightmares. And as minor as they look, they happen at a depth where you don't want them to occur. This is the junk basket, which is integrated. It's for dual function, dual tubing, where you are producing different zones. Just a hook that allows you. This means that the mud level is very low. So if you drop it, it's too far, not the best of. So use the C-ring to lower it. Hold the. That's the C-ring there. That's the three. Once it touches the buoyant, the fluid, and there's buoyancy, the C hook will unhook. That's how down to hook. That's the deadline, right? Important. You always wonder that. I'm sure the people you know this, but don't have this, that's okay. That be right now? Is it right now? I'm done. Thank you. Good.
Thank you so much. Sir, I think you come and sit down. Let me change it over to the side. You can sit down, let them.
Can I want to thank our guest speaker, Dr. Livinus Nosike, for bringing in this topic and introducing us to this new tool that, from all indications, will be a game changer in the industry, especially as it regards well completion. In the course of this lecture, I'm sure that most of us who are geoscientists, we have come to learn a few things that we may have known about them or heard about them, at least some become clearer. For instance, I've now known about ovality, which and it's key to actually this discussion. The summary of what I can get from this is that this tool helps you solve problems of ovality, and also will reduce your cost of well completion, both in terms of drilling time and in terms of the actual costs in dollars, because when you save time, you are also saving money. And it's also a tool that is evolving from all we have gathered from this talk. We can see that it has already been embraced by a good segment of the industry, and at the same time, there are still other possibilities, because from the talk, we can see that it's still evolving. There are still a lot of things that are going on, and it's bound to do better. So I would allow the audience, I know that you have jotted down one or two things, and you may want the speaker to clarify, so I can allow you to. I don't know, the people online, how do you accommodate?
Yes, we have a question online.
Yeah.
So I think we'll take the questions online before we come to the audience here. So the first question is, if the primary barrier fails during slickline operations, what secondary barrier must be activated and why?
Thank you for that question. It depends on the kind of slickline operation, because the fishing operation can be slickline, where you're going to retrieve a tool. So you can use slickline to solve a slickline operation. So it depends on what is your primary barrier in this case. Sometimes when we talk of primary barrier, our mind goes to the mud. And in this case of slickline, it might not be the mud. It just depends on what kind of operation you're talking of. Since we are talking of floating drift and all this, I think the first, what comes to mind in this question is probably where you are going to frack or carry out a slickline operation at the bottom and it did not deploy. And in that case, you have to pull out of hole. Okay, and then check wire and then go back in hole. And that is why a properly drifted pipe becomes a major key insurance policy for you to achieve that successfully. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please, for those online, you can still send in your questions. So we can now take questions from the audience. Please, if you have a question, just raise your hand.
Okay. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. I know you made justice to this. It as expected. Thank you so much. The question I have will be a very short one. Okay, my name is Dr. Usman Ayato Jonugwa, Department of Applied Geophysics, Nsukka University, Awka. The question will be a very short one. What will be the place of AI in this well drifting? Is it the recent technology, deep learning, machine learning? What are their place now in making well drifting better? Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very relevant question. I tried to say something during the presentation, and I gave an example of how AI can help. AI is very versatile, so you can go to any dimension you want. But in this case of floating drift, the area we are looking at the moment is two things. One is automation, okay, where you don't need to be the one checking whether the light is on physically. So we can have a kind of sensor that tells us that, okay, if the light is on, you don't need to go and look inside the pipe. It sends a signal. You can do it with dev operation, which means if the light is on, it sends a signal and you stop. If it's not on, it signals the next connection of joint. So that's where AI can start coming on, machine learning, automation. The second place it can help is adapting of the tool floatability. The challenge with that is that it has to have a mechanism that adds weight or reduces weight. So it has to have a mechanism that allows mud or something to flow into the pipe or go out. What that can help to do is that if you want it to go deeper, it senses it needs to go deeper. It will automatically, being AI, read that it needs to go deeper. Maybe you have a problem at a depth of 1,000 and you decide that it should float there and float back up. So it will have a mechanism. So that's the second place we are looking at. The first one, auto detection, auto notification. The second one, adaptation of the depth of the tool. So those are the two places we are looking at. You can come up with other ideas. It's a new whole world. So in AI, there are no limitations. You can go on and come up with new ideas, and we'll be happy to research that with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So we have another question from online, Emmanuel Ani. What is the primary application or advantage of buoyancy, that's floating, drilling/drifting in shell formations?
Okay. I'm happy for this question because it went outside the immediate scope of using it for completion. Okay, because when we are talking of completion or tubing, we have passed the drilling stage. We are no more looking at the formation because you have a casing, which is a protective barrier. So you are now focusing on just equipment, well integrity, and all that. But when you start to look at geological environment, it means we are still looking at the drilling stage. At the drilling stage, the places you can use this drift is maybe even for casing, placement of your casing, because the casing itself can be drifted. Another place is in circulation. You know, depending on the kind of formation you have, is going to affect your cement slurry cementation. And it's geologists that will give us this formation, give us the lithology, give us the tops and base of the reservoirs and other formation. And so as you are cementing, if you have a zone that is prone, gas prone and all that, it's not the same kind of slurry. And when you are going to do this cementing, you are going to run drift to make sure your pipe is okay. Now, in shelf zone, shelf, we have a lot of, you now have to look at what are the peculiarities of shelf. We have certain kind of structures, certain kind of lithology, some kind of faulting in some shelf. Okay, what lithology do you have? Is it limestone? Is it sandstone? If it's a shelf, if you have limestone near the shelf, what that means is that you have tendency of acid dissolving even in years of your casing. And so it's going to affect the kind of slurry you want, which will require a clean tubing or a clean casing for you to run. And remember, as I said, when you are going to do this fluid displacement, there are certain kind of tools you will deploy or balls you will send for circulation that will require that your pipe is clean. And that is where this drifting comes in. So it's an indirect solution but it applies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There is a follow-up question to that. Are there any benefits in horizontal drilling and HP/HT operations?
Yes, in fact, that's where it's most critical, because in horizontal drilling, while drilling, you already avoid what we call dogleg. Dogleg is when you have a well that has more than, say, 3 degrees for 10 meters. So that deviation is too sharp. When you are going to run your casing, it's going to be difficult. You can meet a ledge and your casing will get stuck. But let's say you successfully run your casing in a deviated well. What that means is that chances of overtorque is higher in your tubing, because in your tubing is not very straight, kind of. Let me use that simple language. So this can be an overtorque. Okay, and once you have an overtorque, it means you're at the connection point of your tubing, the pipes are not very well aligned. And that is where you are going to get stuck. That's where you're going to have all the issues we mentioned at the beginning. So yes, in a deviated well, the importance of running floating drift is even more critical, because you have a pipe or tubing that is not running in a straight line. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have another question online. Yeah. Okay, the person is asking about the cost benefits of this application. He said he missed it while we were discussing it.
Yes, the cost benefit comes in 2 ways. One is avoiding NPT, non-productive time. So if you save time, even if there were no issues, and a drifting you're supposed to do in 3 days, you do it in few hours, you have already saved millions of dollars. And we have a calculator, which we showed during the presentation, where you can calculate this exact cost benefit. The second one is where you have to avoid rerun. Okay. The other one is where you avoid stock objects, where you avoid lost time injury and all that. So you have the direct cost of saving time. And then you have the mere fact too that floating drift is cheaper, because you don't need to rig up. You don't need a slick line truck. It's a simple tool that you drop in hole. And in that case, it's easier. So there are many benefits that we can actually quantify. And we have a calculator that does that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Chesnapel. My question is, how do you differentiate this drifting with reservoir pressure? The pressure you get from the drift and the reservoir pressure. And also, what are the differences? Because I know there's a tool called pressure inducer used for water pumping tests. Is there like a different, is it the same kind of mechanism with this drifting tool, or are they different?
Okay, thank you. The major difference between either these two you mentioned or reservoir pressure is that reservoir pressure happens outside the casing. It's not a pipe or validity issue. It's a reservoir issue, and those are the primary issues we are familiar with. And the message today is that you can get all those things right. Get your reservoir pressure right, do all your studies, have the oil, and just because of drifting issue, you run into multiple problems that can lead to losing your well. And that's all we're trying to say. So while those things are reservoir issues happening in the formation, your drifting is happening inside the well, and is related to equipment deployment, is related to well integrity, cleanliness of your well, and the rest of the success, everything about production, tubing, perforation, everything will happen successfully if this drifting is done post drilling or while drilling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The differences between this drifter and your pressure inducer used for pumping tests to identify like your recovery, drawdown, do they use the same mechanism?
Okay, the slight difference is that the pressure inducer or every other tool you run downhole, whether to measure, there are 2 types of pressures you measure. One is the one we call flowing gradient. So you're measuring this pressure while your well is open. So you are measuring the inflow pressure. It's not your reservoir pressure. It's just, it depends on, like you said, your pump or what is going on. That's called flowing gradient or FGS. The second one is SGS, static gradient. When you shut in your well, you wait, your pressure in the well will become in dynamic with the pressure in the flow. And that way you measure your reservoir pressure in the well. Now, these two types of pressure are often done with slick line. That means you have to run a cable with a gauge. And sometimes there are gauge installed in the tubing, but those ones measure vertical lift. They measure the ability of the fluid. But those ones that measure around the formation, you run them mainly with slick line or wire line, mainly slick line because it's more affordable. And when you run this slick line, what we are saying is that the success of that tool you will run for this pressure inducer will depend on how well your drifting is. So drifting becomes a precursor to all these other processes for their efficient deployment. So that well intervention should no more be very, we're always worried, will it be successful? Companies are worried because they can lose money. A well can be shut in because of the intervention. So this drifting is more like a check, a QC, a quality control before you go into deploying that your tool.
Okay, thank you very much. We have another question from anonymous attendee. Can buoyancy drifting be used in tubing as in the case of pre-existing wells?
The answer is capital yes. It can be used in pre-existing wells. In fact, it should be used in pre-existing wells. Okay. However, there's a catch there. There's a small catch. And that catch is that you have already run in hole. So if it floats on the surface, how is it going to go down to go and correct problems there? And that is where Big Mini and the other tools we mentioned now work together. And when we're able to optimize it and achieve what we said, where the buoyancy can be allowed to go at different depths, that technology will become more efficient. So that is a critical question. So I would say yes, with limitations.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question from Kingsley. Okay. How will this collaboration and technology improve exploration in Nigeria oil and gas industry? How will this collaboration or technology improve exploration in Nigeria oil and gas industry?
Thank you. And when you say Kingsley, I'm not looking at that, but I don't know if he's the one I know. Okay, there's somebody. He's the one. He's a person we are partnering with. I know he just came to Nigeria. Kingsley, I can't see, but I've heard your question. Yes, he should be involved in something we are working at. And when you say how will it improve exploration, the best way I can say it is that you know that the first well we drill is an exploration well. I hope we all know. So exploration well is the most important well because that's the well where you don't have right to make mistakes. That's the well where your tubing can collapse or your casing can collapse because of any mistake. And so exploration wells are the most important. So I'll say that henceforth, at the point of exploration, floating drift should be used to reduce cost, because when exploration wells are so challenging and have a lot of issue, it tends to affect our FDP, okay, or the field development plan, the approvals and all that. So it helps with exploration because right from the beginning, we get it right by using the floating drift. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chairman, you can conclude so that I will take over.
Well, I want to also acknowledge that it has been quite an engaging time with our guest lecturer. And I want to also thank all of you, both the online audience and those that are in the hall here with us. You will agree with me that we are better off than when we started this program with regard to this issue of what's the floating drift. It's an emerging technology. Floating, what do you call it? Floating assisted, buoyancy-assisted floating drift, drifting. So, and we can see that we are better informed than when we started. And I'm sure that it has generated a lot of excitement. And beyond here, you can also contact the lecturer for further discussions. If you want to collaborate, you have ideas or you have questions. So thank you very much. Chairman, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over to you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much, the chairman. Thank you so much, our guest speaker. It's not easy. I've learned one thing today, ovality and other things that are, when you ask the question, what can float on water? So I was trying to, that means that should be less than density of water before you not say it. So thank you so much for bringing us back to primary school days to know at least the basic function of density. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone. We'll thank those that are online. Thank you for your participation. We have over 30 participants online. So, and those that are present, thank you so much. Without wasting our time, we'll move straight to the award. I'll call on Professor Anyam to present our award to our guest speaker. Prof, sir, on behalf of the NAPE president. You're welcome, Prof.
Thank you, coordinator of Awka Owerri chapter of NAPE. On behalf of the president of NAPE, I've been asked to give this award to our guest lecturer who has been around and has integrated himself so well in the support of the teaching and the coordination of activities in the Awka Owerri chapter. He has done well in so many ways, integrating our students in his company and doing a whole lot. Okay, so this is an award of excellence to you for these engaging patients to Dr. Livinus Nosike for your outstanding contribution as a guest speaker to NAPE Awka Owerri chapter in her 2026 August technical meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, sir. Please, we stay on the award. We call on Professor Nsukka Obiade to come and present award to our guests, to the chairman of the day. Prof, sir.
Call on our chairman of today's occasion, Professor Mode, to receive his award. It is my honor and privilege to associate with our chairman today, who has always been a good mentor, a teacher, and a problem solver. On behalf of NAPE Awka Owerri chapter, I present this award of excellence to Professor Ayoma Wilfred Mode, FNAPE FNMGS, for your outstanding contributions as chairman to today's NAPE Awka Owerri chapter 2026 August technical meeting. This day, congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, sir. Having done that, I'll call on Dr. Anthony Ofoma, FNAPE, the president-elect, to give vote of thanks. I think he just sent me a message that there's an emergency that is there. So he said that I should extend his greeting to the guest speaker who happens to be his friend. He said that, Doc, sir, he said that I should tell you that whatever you've said today, he's really happy about it and he's impressed. And he believes that sooner that NAPE General will see this type of presentation because it is practical oriented. And that is the idea of NAPE, finding oil and gas. So with this new tech, it will be nice if you can see it in NAPE conference so that people will say the original aspect of it, not practical base, not theoretical again. Everything will be practical. So he really extend his greetings. And to the chairman of the day, he said that, as you said, as the daddy of the house, thank you so much for being here. And he said to all the participants that all of you are highly welcome, that he's privileged to be in your midst. And having said that, he said that one thing is certain, that once you're in Igbo land, after visiting any place, there's something to just hold off. So there's, you know that Awka chapter have something that everyone that is present here and those that are outside can lay their hands on. So please do not go home when we finish. After today, it's always behind. There's enough things to eat and drink. So having said that, thank you so much on behalf of the President-elect, Dr. Anthony Ofoma, FNAPE. Thank you so much. Then on the announcement, I'm calling on our Awka chapter PS to come and do the announcement.
Thank you, my coordinator. Okay, so for the announcements, the technical business meeting continues. We just had the one for Awka chapter. The next one is the meeting, which will be coming up on 19th August 2026. Of course, for further inquiries, the NAPE Secretariat can be contacted. Next, of course, the NAPE conference is coming up by November, from 8th to 12th November 2026. Registration is ongoing. Of course, we should remember that the early bird registration will end by September 1st. So do well to register. For sponsorship opportunities, do well to also contact the Secretariat. Registration call out for the NAPE conference. Of course, I've mentioned it. So there is the website for the registration. You can actually make your payments and register online. The NAPE 2026 Summer School, hold on. Yeah, the topic for the summer school is co-opting AI and ML to existing oil and gas upstream digital ecosystem. The case for exploration, drilling, and production. Deadline for registration is August 21st, 2026, and the program is supposed to start by 26th to 28th August 2026. For further inquiries, the NAPE Secretariat can also be contacted. Fundraising drive for the purchase of a permanent NAPE Secretariat. The account details are displayed here. Please do well to make your contribution, no matter how small. Upcoming events. We have the NAPE election that is coming up, and we have the nominees for the president-elect, Mr. Ehi Bazwaye, FNAPE, and Mr. Florunso Fatai Karim, FNAPE, for president-elect. Then we have the NAPE Secretary General nominee, our candidate, Mr. Austin Buemere. Next. Okay, Assistant General Secretary, I think there are about 4. For Financial Secretary, we have 2 candidates. Next. For the Treasurer, we also have 2 candidates. Next. Editor-in-Chief, we have 2 candidates, of course. Okay, and for Assistant Editor-in-Chief, we have 1 candidate. Publicity secretary, there are about 3 candidates. Of course, their names are clearly displayed. So these are the names of the qualified contestants, the candidates. For the active members, you have to renew your membership in order for you to vote. And remember, both for students, members, active members, you need to renew your membership. Okay, and you can do this online. Payment is quite very easy right now, so you can make your payments. All right, thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, we want to appreciate for the timing and how you waited for us. Thank you for the participants online. The president of NAPE, the president-elect, FNAPE is in the house, our elders, professors, students, and postgraduates, and also our corporate member. I want to say a big thank you. But before we close for the TM, we want to do some small quiz for the students. So we'll be picking on the schools to come and pick up their questions before we round up. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have 3 schools, Nsukka, UNN, and ASUT. So we'll call on UNN. A representative from UNN, come and pick your question. Come here. Oh, okay. So, okay. Choma, are you for UNN? Yeah, one person. It's not just from normal person. UNN, we're waiting for you. Victor, they say you're representing them. Okay, so we have our representative for UNN, Victor. For Nsukka, who is representing them? Nsukka. Are we now afraid of questions? Nsukka. One person representing the school. Okay, you say 2. Okay, so the second person for UNN. Chioma Obi. Nsukka, we're waiting for you. Okay, now ASUT. ASUT, send us your representative. ASUT. We're in your base. Okay, so I give them a privilege to introduce themselves by name and their schools.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nsukka Victor Chukwuebuka. I'm a geology student of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chioma Comfort. I'm a geology student of University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sihedi Amarachukujoy. I'm a geophysics student of Nnamdi Azikiwe University.
Good day, everyone. My name is Maduka Chetachiku from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, a geology student.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ogu Victor. I'm a geology student from Enugu State University.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abochi Simdi. I'm a geology student of Enugu University.
All right. Thank you, the participants of the quiz. So we'll bring in the questions for you to pick. We have questions number 1 to 20. So I think how we'll do it is we'll just drop it, then we'll just keep, you pick. You're picking up or choosing a number. So you pick. Each school will pick, will ask the question, then we'll move to the next school till we exhaust the question. Okay, UNN. Question number 5. Nothing is going to fall. Question number 5 for you.
Okay, question number 5. Please listen carefully. Which mineral scale measures mineral hardness from 1 to 10? Nosike.
Nosike.
Correct.
A round of applause.
Fast.
Question number 16.
Okay, question number 16. That's Nsukka. What was today's Owerri TBM topic?
Imagine innovative technologies for oil and gas well optimization.
Correct. Clap for him.
Well done, Nsukka. Esut. Question number 7.
Okay. Question number 7 for Esut. Listen carefully. What is the name given to the last great single supercontinent on the earth? What is the name given to the last great single supercontinent on the earth?
Pangaea.
Correct. Clap for him.
From the back. Okay, Esut, you pick again. Question number 14.
14. Yeah. 14. Okay, listen carefully. Who is the current NAPE president?
No idea.
Okay, Esut lost 5 points.
So for you, this is question number 1.
Okay, Unizik, question number 1. What is the approximate age of the Earth?
$2.6 billion years.
That's wrong. Thank you. Unizik lost.
UNN.
No.
UNN, pick your question.
It's 4.5 billion years.
Question number 6.
Question number 6. Unizik, right?
UNN.
UNN. Okay. In what year was the continental drift theory proposed by Alfred Wegener?
$1970.
No, that's wrong. 1912.
Hold on.
Hold on.
UNN, pick your question.
That's the last lap, right? Okay.
Question number 17 for UNN. Yes.
Okay. Question number 17, UNN. What is the name of the immediate past NAPE president? Okay. Immediate past NAPE president, the name is Mr. Uche John Bosco, FNAPE. Please, let's keep quiet.
13.
Question number 13, Unizik. Listen carefully. Which agent of erosion is most active in Enugu during rainy season?
Water erosion.
What did you say? Water erosion?
Yes, by rainfall.
Water erosion, correct. That's 5 points.
Esut. Question number 10.
Question number 10. Okay. Convention currents in the mantle cause dash. Convention current in the mantle cause dash.
Subduction or mountain building.
The answer is plate tectonics.
Esut. Question number 8.
Okay, question number 8. What is a tectonic boundary where plates move apart from each other called?
It's called the divergent plate boundary.
Thank you. Correct.
So, Nsukka.
Question number 3. What is the basic and fundamental unit of lithospheric classification? Lithostratigraphic classification. What is the basic and fundamental unit of lithostratigraphic classification?
Rocks.
Huh?
Rock.
Rock what?
Like rock classification to identify rock identification.
No, that's not the right answer. The answer is formation.
Okay. Name.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Number 18.
Okay, number 18. UNN, right? Okay. What is fishing during well drilling? What is fishing called during well drilling? Fishing. No idea.
I think to bring out core samples. Like
No.
Our guest speaker said something like that when he was saying fishing. When the pipes are stopped or you have lost it and you are that point of trying to bring it out, right? Bringing it out from at least at all possible best. You want to bring it out, fishing it to bring those things out from the well bore. Okay, hope I'm right.
That's
Okay.
When you go, even in your school, maybe when the postgraduate students are giving their seminar, some of you either when you go there, you don't pay attention. You say, "You know, concern me. I never reached that level." You see, all these things are, in fact, even whether you are in second year, you must have heard about fishing. So it's not that you are not intelligent, it's just that some of you have not paid attention. Even today, we talked about fishing.
Yes.
Anything that drops into the hole and you want to bring it out, that process is called fishing. Just like you go to the river to bring out something. Fish it out. And it's something that happens often during drilling. It happens.
Please, one small comment is that if something falls inside your well, it's serious. So what I'm saying is if this pen falls inside the well, it's serious. Because a lot of what I just told you, the space may be just ½ inch. this can now make a tool to get stuck. So it's not as simple as we think. Sometimes when you cannot fish it, you have to mill it. It's like a final solution. You go and drill and mill that place to destroy it and then circulate it out. If you can't, you may have to plug the well and sidetrack, deviate the well, because that point where you have that fish is a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, last lap, yes. So UNA will go again.
Question number 2.
Question number 2. What layer of the earth lies directly below the crust? What layer of the earth lies directly below the crust? Is it?
The question.
What layer of the earth lies directly below the crust?
It's the mantle.
Correct.
Okay. Nsukka. Question number 15.
Question number 15. UNN, right?
Nsukka.
Nsukka, okay. Who is the current president-elect? NAPE current president-elect. Who is the current NAPE president-elect? No idea. Is Dr. Former.
You don't pay attention. He was rejected on this war and he has been called over and over again. Suits. Question number 19.
Okay. Question number 19. Esut. Give us the full meaning of NAPE UAP. Full meaning of NAPE UAP. NAPE-UAP. Your time is going.
National Association Petroleum.
Nigerian Association of Petroleum Exploration University-Assisted Program.
Yeah, how many? No.
The last lap now. Esut, go again. Esut.
Esut.
Esut has question number 4.
Okay. Question number 4. What sediment is produced by chemical weathering of granite? What sediment is produced by the chemical weathering of granite?
Carbonated rocks, sandstone. Carbonated rocks.
Be specific. Ah? Yeah, just give a name. Carbonated,
Carbonated rock like limestone.
is not it.
Okay. Nsukka.
Okay. Clay. Number.
Nsukka. Question number 20.
Okay, Nsukka. Question number 20. From the presentation today, where in Africa is a float drift is currently deployed? From the presentation today, where in Africa is the float drift currently deployed? FD, the float drift. The presenter mentions 2 countries.
Gabon.
Correct. Just right.
I was actually surprised she got it because I was telling Prof that this one person must be attentive. So there are 2 places. You mentioned one, but I already have a gift for you. If you can get the other one, it will be a bigger gift. If it's the other one, it will be a smaller gift. No, let her finish.
Gambia.
No, in Nigeria.
You mentioned Libya.
Okay, the last.
UNN. Question number 12.
Okay, question number 12. Sandstone is formed by the process of dash. Sandstone is formed by the process of dash.
Sedimentation. Transportations, like sedimentation. Is it what bring about it or what?
Sandstone is formed by the process of dash.
Sedimentation and compaction. Wait. Cause. Process of sedimentation, compaction, and transportation, sedimentation, and compaction. And yeah, cementation.
God bless you.
This was a tough one.
Okay, compassion and cementation.
Okay.
We have 2 schools now that have 30 points. So, and the 2 schools are UNN and Nsukka. Esut has 20, so Esut is out. So let's Esut is the 3rd. So now, yeah, let's do the last wrap between UNN and Nsukka. Please pass.
Who goes first? UNN. Let me have the question.
It's not one.
It's two.
Okay, two. Okay.
It's two questions. Question number 11 for UNN.
Okay, question number 11. No, we answered this question.
Let me see the question.
Let me ask them. Okay. The liquid layer of the earth is called what? The liquid layer of the earth is called what?
The outer core.
Hi, Jesus. God bless you.
Nsukka, question number 9.
Okay. Okay, number 9. The hardest mineral on Mohs scale is dash.
So, our question from
Proposal.
our question from Hunter the guest hostel.
So, they're not winners.
Please clap for them. Clap for them.
Thank you. Thank you, Esu. Thank you,
Go back,
Nsukka.
go back.
Thank you. Thank you, Esu. Thank you, Nsukka. Thank you, UNN, for your participation. Okay. Okay. So we have the first runner-up as Esu. Thank you for participating. You will go home with 20,000 naira. While the two team that grabbed as the winner will go home with 40,000 naira each. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You might not go to your seats. Okay, I think we have come to the end of the technical meeting. Our participants online, thank you for waiting up on us. Thank you everybody for participating. Those for physical, NAPE Secretariat, thank you for keeping with us. And we say a very big thank you to our speaker, Dr. Nosike, to our chairman, Professor Mode, FNAPE, FNMGS. And with this, we wrap up and end up the August technical meeting, physical for Owerri chapter. Thank you, everyone. Okay, before we go, how the process of going to take some things, we'll go with the fellows first, the fellow and the speaker. Then we have the professors and our elderlies, then corporates, then before the students. Thank you very much. I'll hand over.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for participating. Please, we'll not waste any further time. We need a lady a guy that will close this TBM meeting. TBM with prayer. When I mean a guy, a prayerful man. If I think you do it for us. Come on, do it for us. We are in your place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my coordinator.
We know
it's a privilege
that you see the things you see in marriage, the signs are there before marriage.
My name is Raymond Ifanyugu, and I'm here to say the closing prayers. Will we rise, please? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Father in heaven, we thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunity to gather here today for our TPM. Thank you for the journey messages granted unto each and every one of us as we came all the way from our different places to this place today. As we have closed this day and we're about to go home, we pray for your mercy, we pray for your guidance, we pray for your protection. that as we go in peace and arrive at places in peace without any problem. All this we ask through Christ our Lord. We share the grace and fellowship. This is all. Surely, God's goodness and mercy shall follow us. Amen. In the name of the Father.
Please, for the gifts to the students, the cash is available, so we'll give it to the school. Then our guest speaker for today said that everyone that participated today must go home with his latest textbook. So, and he has it here with us. So thank you so much, sir. We are grateful, sir. Okay, those that come, those that Dr. Nosike said, come, you and who again? Okay. Okay. Go.
Okay. Not much. Okay. Congratulations. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, thank you so much, sir. Our guest speaker have done it all. He has given one of his latest textbook the cost implication, which I know is not below 15,000. So for the new textbook that he has written, he wrote a textbook on a career in the petroleum industry, which is a great one. So everybody that is here today will go home with it. So please make sure that you have your own copy. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Sir, please, we can. There's a textbook also written by the guest speaker today. One of his new textbook again, overview of the petroleum industry. The cost price is 2,000 naira. Please, if you have interest, please come and pick one. 2,000 naira. A copy of it. Okay. Another of his textbook, exploration. Okay, exploration and production geoscience, a gift that will give to the student today. He said that this one, he will give it at a giveaway of 10,000 naira. But at the market, it costs 20,000. So, but here, for the fact that you are here today, come and pick it, just 10,000. It's a good textbook for petroleum industry. So once you have it, everything about your geoscience, petroleum geoscience is solved. Thank you, sir.
Mm.